As a real estate agent, something that I've heard a lot this year is I'm just going to wait until interest rates come down. So today we're going to take a look at the process and unpack some of the other ways that buyers will be affected if interest rates come down. A lot of people are trying to time the market, and so I just want to take a really honest look at the whole idea. My name's Lucas with the Cairns team. I'm a realtor here in Cincinnati, and if you're looking to buy a house, then I think you might find this interesting. So this week, I went to lunch with one of my favorite lenders, Matt Davis. We went to downtown Milford and we sat and talked about the whole idea of timing the market. I didn't take you guys along for the whole thing, but check this out. Today I'm meeting Matt Davis downtown. If you guys don't know Matt, Matt's an incredible lender. He works with Preferred Rate, and he's fantastic.
Yo, there he is. What's up, dude? What's going on, man? What's happening?
Dude, this is awesome. So cool.
So Matt hasn't been to Milford down here before on the river, and so we're just gonna go walk around and check it out.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants to wait for things to change, but when things start to change, that's when everyone's going to get back going. So right now is the time to make the move. The rate doesn't matter. You can always get rid of it when things come down, but right now you can get a house how you want it, on your terms.
Something that I really appreciate about Matt, probably one of the reasons that we get along well, is because he's not just trying to do sales, he's really genuinely trying to help people. And our conversation got me thinking about how to talk about timing in real estate. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that I'm a realtor, I'm not a financial advisor. So everything in this video is educational and it's based on examples. If you are interested in a specific situation, then obviously I can introduce you to a lender that can walk through your financial situation with you. I want you to consider all of your options and always continue to learn new ideas. At the same time, every situation is different. Okay, so what does the right time look like? Let's be honest, everybody wants to make a smart move. I don't think that anybody wants to feel like they moved at the wrong time. That desire is totally healthy, but it also turns into a bit of a moving target. There's a belief that most of us hold that there's some magical window where prices are low and there's not too much competition and rates are perfect, and we want the right moment to come, and that's the right moment for everyone to buy. The best times to buy are easy to identify in hindsight, but they don't announce themselves in the moment. There is always, no matter how good the conditions are, there's always a reason to hesitate. During 2020 and 2021, right after people were saying that prices were too high, and in retrospect, it's really easy to look back at the low interest rates and think, oh, I wish if I had just bought then. Here we are in 2025 and we still hear the same stuff even though it's a very different environment. You're always going to hear salespeople and people that benefit from the sale saying that now is the best time to buy. And you're always going to hear fear on the news, and there's always going to be uncertainty in the world. And so we live in the tension between those two things. Those are the two voices that we hear on both sides, I think. There are a few things about real estate, though, that are different than other investments. Real estate is in the stock market. You're not buying a ticker that you can watch on your phone. You're buying a home that impacts your daily life. That's a big difference. I don't want to make generalizations, and I certainly don't want to make excuses for bad habits or bad decisions. But where we flex and what we flex on is going to be a little bit different in real estate than other investments. When you're trying to time the real estate market, you're really trying to time people and their behavior. When rates drop, more buyers jump in the market. When rates rise, some sellers hold their low rate mortgages and they stay put. Inventory tends to change for very human reasons. Jobs, family, school, and demand changes for human reasons too. So what the heck does a win actually look like? For most of my clients, it's pretty simple. The house needs to fit real life. The monthly payments need to sit inside the window that they can live with even on a bad month. And the plan protects them through inspections and appraisal. If we can check those boxes, they're usually happy after 5 years, regardless of whether they nailed the magical window. So let's run the scenario that everyone's waiting for. Let's say that rates drop meaningfully 6 months from now. On paper, obviously, you'll save money. In practice, though, a few other things happen at the same time. The first of which is demand spiking. Buyers who were on the fence jump back in quickly. And that's not a theory, it's how humans behave. They want to capture the deal that they've been waiting for. This market has been very busy since in the last 5 years, we've had very low inventory. So don't underestimate all of the people that are waiting to jump into the market. And the other half of that equation is the inventory. It's not just going to magically explode to meet them. A lot of potential sellers are sitting on really low interest rates from the last few years, so trading those for a higher payment can feel pretty rough. There's a really good chance that many people will stay put unless life forces them to move, so that inventory isn't going to come out of nowhere. And third, prices are going to feel that tension. When more buyers chase the same number of homes, competition obviously goes way up. So even if it's not 2021 all over again, you'll definitely feel more multiple offer situations on good solid homes. We've been doing that for a while here in Cincinnati. It's been hard to find a good deal. Investors have had their work cut out for them looking for these deals because the truth is there's just not a lot of inventory. And the fourth thing is that all of the soft benefits that you enjoy when the market is slower disappear really quickly. Seller credits, flexibility on appraisal and negotiations during inspection, flexibility on occupancy, all that stuff pretty much goes away. So yeah, I think lower interest rates will help the monthly payment, but if the price climbs and all of that other stuff that makes negotiating a little bit more favorable for you goes away, then it gets a little bit harder to decipher, okay, this is a clear win. I want to be clear, I'm not just being negative, this isn't doom and gloom. The point is to recognize what's happening. When everyone makes the same move all at once, then it gets really hard to find the good deals.
Here's the cost for the money.
Okay.
Your principal and interest payment is going to be $1,561 a month.
Yeah.
The variables are your taxes and insurance, let's say $300. So your total could be $1,861 a month. Typically, when people are thinking of a payment, all they're thinking of is the money.
Yeah.
But then when I break it down and like you did, introduce the other costs to it, that's when they're like, okay, and they just need to process it. Because again, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right.
Okay, I had to call Matt and talk to him about stuff. So let me bring this to life with a simple side-by-side so that you can kind of feel it. And remember, this is just an example. We're trying to keep the numbers consistent across videos so that you'll really get a feel for how the numbers change here in Cincinnati. So option A is that you buy when things are moving a little bit more slowly. We're going to use a $300,000 home. We're going to use a 6.75% interest rate with 5% down. That puts your loan at $285,000, and it puts your estimated monthly payment around $2,200. Option B is you wait 6 months and you see the rate drop, but you also see prices rise because of competition. So now we're looking at, for this example, a 7% bump on our $300,000 home puts us at like $321, and that's not at all unheard of. Now, if our rate is 5.75 for this illustration and we still put 5% down, our loan amount is $304,950. That puts our estimated monthly payment at about $2,175. So you waited for 6 months and you hoped and you fought through the brutal multiple offers of a really busy market, and this is your reward, roughly $25. It's about the price of some pizza. Also, you brought more cash to close and you took on a bigger loan. You also had to compete with a lot more buyers, and you paid rent for those extra 6 months. That's not how every scenario is going to play out, but that's why it's important to run the numbers and look at the situation and be really honest about how the factors play together. Okay, so you've probably heard the term marry the house, date the rate. And I know it's cheesy, it's really bad, but there's practical wisdom. What it actually means is that when a home fits your daily life and your budget today, inside of your conservative comfort window, you can move forward without trying to predict the rate cycle. If the math presents a sensible refinance later, then great. If it doesn't, then you've already bought a home that works at today's payment. There are costs to refinancing. Usually lenders will calculate a break even. So if you hold the loan beyond that break even point, then the refi makes sense. If you feel frustrated that you didn't buy when rates were lower, then you can talk to a lender and you can see if a refinance makes sense. If so, great. If not, that's okay because you made a good decision the first time. What we don't ever want to do is bank on things changing in the future. As a realtor, I'm never going to push you to do something that's going to put you in a place of compromise, and I can confidently say that the lenders that I work with will not push you to do anything that compromises the future. If anything, we're going to err on the side of being conservative, and we're going to encourage you to be very careful. That sun is very bright today. You're probably going to notice the brightness going up and down in the video. Okay, so what are the potential costs if we do decide to wait to see if interest rates come down? Let's do the obvious stuff first. So prices could go up. The truth is that really nice homes in good areas are probably going to be in high demand until we see a lot more inventory in the market. And then you have lost equity. I've had clients that bought their house in 2021 and 2022 sell and make a significant amount of money. And that's not always the case, but we have been seeing the market appreciating here in Cincinnati pretty consistently. Another obvious one is the rent that you're paying. If you continue to pay rent while you're waiting to buy, that's more money that you're paying in rent. Now, rent's not evil, it's a tool, but it is 100% consumption. So if you plan to buy within the next year or two and you're financially ready, then stacking another 6 to 12 months of rent is just additional cost. The last two things aren't monetary, but I still think they're very important. So the first one is losing momentum. Once you pause, it's really easy to get wrapped up in other stuff that's going on in life and to drift. You kind of lose that rhythm and the pre-approval might expire and you stop learning the market because you stop seeing homes in person. And so when the right house finally appears, then you're restarting from zero. And the whole goal and everything that I talk about on this channel is that we want to avoid that happening because that's when we're making decisions under pressure. So it's really important to stay in it and keep your momentum up. It doesn't have to be high intensity, but don't get distracted. Don't miss out. Don't take a step back because you're gonna have to re-engage. And then the last point is just the opportunity cost. It's just what you're postponing by postponing the decision. Now, most of you guys have really good reasons for moving. There's stuff that you want to do. It might be pets for your kids. It might be a guest room for people to come and stay with you. I know that all of those things have been real for me and my family. And a shorter commute makes a big difference. It gives you time back every single day. So there's stuff that you can't refinance. You can't refinance time with people. You can't refinance lifestyle. Once it's gone, that stuff is gone. So you have to take advantage of the opportunity that you have right now. And so lifestyle is a big factor when it comes to this decision. Now, I just want to be clear, and I always want to be fair. There are totally valid reasons to wait. And like I said before, I'm never going to pressure you. The lenders that I work with are never going to pressure you. If your job isn't stable yet, then you need to wait. If you just went through a big life change, like maybe a new baby or something to do with health, then you need to give yourself time. If you need time to repair your credit, then that's important. And if you're not sure if Cincinnati is where you want to put down roots, then renting intentionally while you figure that out can be a better path. The key word is intentionally. You don't just want to get into a habit and stay there because it's comfortable. We want to make the best decision possible, and we want to do it when the time is right. If you find yourself in a season of waiting, there are things that you can do to take advantage of the time. Maybe you need to work on your credit. Maybe you need to save more money. So let's go into 8 steps that you can put into action right now. Step 1, think about your life constraints first. Write out your commute times and traffic that you're willing to drive. Consider school, calendar, and maybe access needs like single-story living, fewer steps, or a flat yard. Define vague expectations and come up with very clear and firm limitations. So if a home fails these, then it's out, no matter how good the photos might look. It's very important to have clear expectations on what you're looking for. Step 2 is we want to create a payment window and a savings goal. So make a range with payment, not just a single number. For example, maybe we're comfortable between $2,200 and $2,600 a month because that's going to account for maybe some slight differences in taxes between counties and things like that. And it's really important to have the money there in case you need it. So savings should be a priority. Step 3 is you should get a pre-approval and you should know your options. Talk to a lender who can understand your situation and work through all of the options and find what's best for you. Something that worked for someone else may not necessarily be the best option for you. I don't think it ever hurts to have a second opinion. I do think it's important to consider whose opinion you're valuing though. Lots of people will have their opinions and their thoughts, and it's important to speak with professionals that are familiar with the products that are available right now and who can give you professional advice that you can trust. Step 4 is be honest about inventory. Pull up 3 to 5 houses that you would have written an offer on that are in your target areas, maybe Newtown, Miami Township, and Loveland. Circle the sales price, days on market, and look through the details, and then match your expectations to what's really happening in the market right now. Just because you see something in another transaction, it doesn't mean that that's how it's going to go for you, but it is important to understand what the inventory looks like right now. Obviously, as a realtor, this is something I would be happy to help you with. Step 5 is seasonal strategy. So cities typically have rhythms. Spring typically brings more selection and a lot more inventory, but also a lot more competition. And then late fall and winter usually has fewer buyers, and so there's a little bit more negotiation that can happen there. Use the season to time your effort. Don't chase perfection. Recognize the opportunity of the season that you're in. Step 6 is start to decide now how you're going to handle inspections, appraisal, earnest money, occupancy, and all of the things that we're going to negotiate for. In a slower market, we might aim for seller credit to fund a buy down or to cover part of the closing costs. In a high pressure environment, we might assume that we're not going to be able to negotiate for as much, but we still want to have safe terms and we want to write a really clean offer. I'm never going to encourage you to pass on an inspection. If someone is telling you to waive inspection, then you should ask them about the risk. For most people, it's not a good idea. Step 7 is to define your green light. Your green light is the condition under which you're going to act. You want to define that clearly. You want to know exactly what it is you're looking for. It may also help to define a yellow light, which is what we're going to do if conditions shift. We want to plan how we're going to respond so that we can stay calm and don't feel the pressure to decide in the moment. And step 8 is to set a reminder so that after we close, we can do a check and see if a refinance makes sense. I know the plan isn't very flashy, but it's steady, and steady beats perfect every time. We just want to be taking little steps forward. I hope that something here helped you. If you've been waiting for a sign, then maybe this is it. Not because there was a perfect moment to buy, but because you're ready to stop letting headlines and news make your decisions for you, and you're ready to start considering the facts and gathering the steps that you need to take to get where you want to go. If you're looking for more information about buying your first house, then you can download the First Time Buyer Toolkit that's below. It's free, it's built for Cincinnati, and inside there's a checklist, there's a process overview, there are frequently asked questions, there are pro tips, and all kinds of other good stuff. And as always, if you click the link below, you can schedule directly to my calendar so that we can set up a Zoom call and we can talk. I would be happy to talk to you about your options and discuss your plans for the future. And I can put you in contact with a lender who can look at your finances and give you the steps that you need to start taking now to get you where you want to go. In closing, I don't think you have to catch a magical moment to make a wise move. I think that you have to pick a house that makes sense for you, and you have to buy it with numbers that serve your life and respect your future. That's how families win here in Cincinnati, and that's what I want to help you do. I'm Lucas with the Cairns team. Thank you so much for watching the video. If this helps, hit subscribe. Feel free to share this with a friend who's thinking about moving. I'll see you in the next one.